What's shaking, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Shay, and today is the start of a new reading vlog. It is March. It is a new month. We're going to turn the page. I am sick. I feel like my head is exploding. I am snotting everywhere. That's the way we're starting March, but hopefully that does not mean anything about my reading. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the vlog and what I am reading. So I have really bad decision fatigue as to what I am going to read. And if you don't know my reading habits, I generally have one audiobook going and one physical at the same time. On audio, that's primarily how I listen to my fantasy or my mystery thrillers or sci-fi, and physically I read my romances. Now, this morning I have a little commute to work, so I commuted to work and decided to go ahead and, because in February I mostly did a lot of romance books, to tinkle back into fantasy. I didn't start with like a heavy fantasy. I started with a middle grade, and that is going to be Exile by Shannon Messenger, which is the next book in the Keeper of the Lost Cities world. And I am only, I don't know how far I'm in, maybe 20% into the book. I'm really enjoying my time back in this world. I'm enjoying just the simplicity of the world and like not having to use my brain a lot to think, especially with how muddled my brain and how my sinuses are doing. But so far enjoying the book, and we'll continue to read that. But then the conundrum comes with, what am I going to read for my romance? Because there's a ton that I could read, but again, I have decision fatigue. I'm like the worst decision maker ever. So what do I do when I don't know how to make a decision? I make a wheel, of course. So on this wheel is every series I need to continue in romance that I have read somewhat recently or am excited to continue. Also all the books I pulled out, the romance books I pulled out of the TBR jars for March. So let's pull up the wheel. Let's see what I will be starting with. Okay. I know that you can't really see that. We're going to turn it to the side a little bit, and we're going to spin. I don't know if you can see that. That is one I did not want, and that is Entwined in You. Listen, I started the Crossfire series because, you know, it's one of the OG series. It's one of the ones that, you know, my dog is back here on her back and on her belly for me to pet her. So this is like a very dramatized kind of soap opera-y story. I think it has 5 books in it. This is the 3rd book in the series. I think I may come to a time where I will DNF the series, because while it is a drama-filled good time, sometimes it is absolutely ridiculous. The last book was absolutely ridiculous, and I have a feeling that it is just going to get more ridiculous as time goes on. I will share my thoughts when I get, you know, some into the book. Who knows? The next time you see me, I may be DNFing it. All right, we're manifesting March. Good, go March. Okay, so I am sick. And so sorry, I'm looking a mess. I've just been laying in bed all day. I feel terrible. But I am reading Entwined in You. I don't even know what to say about this book. I looked up a recap of the previous book, which was Reflections in You, I think. Something of that nature. Because I couldn't really remember what happened, and I couldn't find one. So I just went into Entwined in You, and then I read like a chapter, and then it all came back to me about everything that had happened in the book previews, which I will give Sylvia Day this. Like, it really did a good job of kind of jogging my memory about what happened in the book previous. I think still, honestly, that this series is just becoming more ridiculous as time goes on. Should I DNF? Yes. But I just find myself like sucked in like a soap opera. Like, I can't stop reading, especially when I feel bad, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm having this drama good time while I can't breathe. And so I'm going to continue reading for now. I'm 30% in, I think, maybe 35%. I'll continue reading. I'll probably decide soon whether I'm going to DNF. I just don't know if reading long series. This is like 5 books. I think originally this was a trilogy, and then she came back out and put like 2 more books in the series, but they all follow the same couple. And I think that long series like that follow the same couple do not work for me. And that's because, again, I'm like, what is the point of the story? Basically, we're just watching them in their spicy times and their ridiculous back and forth drama. And sometimes I'm here for it and sometimes I'm not. I'm going to keep reading. I'll pop back in when I either A, decide to DNF, or B, I get further in and have something else of note to say. I did read about 30 minutes, or I listened to about 30 minutes of Exile by Shannon Messenger today while I was cooking dinner. And so it was only a few chapters, so my thoughts on that one stay about the same. I'm enjoying my time with Sophie and her friends, so I will chat when I have something to say. Sick me checking in. I finished Entwined with Me and I liked it better than the second one, so I am going to give it 3 stars. Something about it's like a train wreck, like watching it crash is like fascinating as a human being. I don't know. This was so drama filled for the sake of just being drama filled that you just can't stop reading it. And that's what happened to me. I couldn't stop reading it, so I read it. And I'll pop in what kind of points this gave me for Romathon up here. When I was researching the next book, I realized that there's actually a spin-off series from the Crossfire series that's called Crossroads. And it follows our Gideon's, who is our male main characters. It follows his sister. So I don't know if I'm going to continue to the spin-off series. We'll see. But originally I said that I thought this was supposed to be a trilogy, but definitely not. This leaves on, it doesn't finish at all, so 2 more books to go. I will continue on in the series. But it is time to spin for another book. I do have to read some audio books because I realized that I'm only commuting 1 day to work this next week, so that's usually my audiobook time. It's just my commute time, and I'm only commuting 1 day, so I'll have to see about actually listening to Exile instead of physically reading a book when I'm at home. Tell me what you guys do or what activities you do to keep yourself occupied while you're listening to an audiobook, because I feel like if I'm just sitting there listening to an audiobook, like I want something to do with my hands, but then I'm not very crafty. I'm not a crafty person. So let me know what you guys do. I am going to spin this wheel again for my next physical read. Again, this wheel has every romance book that I pulled out of my TBR jars for the month of March, and just some sequels that I need to get to. So here we are again with the window. What? Spin. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it says Lotus. I'm super excited about this. So I read Still Beating, loved that book, 5-star read, and this is like an interconnected standalone to that. There's another one after this one, but this is the next one in the interconnected standalones. I'm super excited. Her books are always emotional, and I'm like in that mood to be emotional. I read some books last month at the end of February that were super emotional and just got me in that mood, and I'm looking forward to this. I will check in shortly. So let's chat, because I have actually finished Exile by Shannon Messenger. I can't believe that I finished this book, but yesterday I had so much cleaning and cooking to do that I just devoured the book. And this is a series that I think is so fun and so wonderful that I wish I would have found it sooner, maybe when I was younger. I don't know when this series came out, but it is super fun, perfect for middle grade, perfect for adults as well. I'm having a good time. But basically, if I didn't say, this follows Sophie, who grew up in the human world, has no idea that she is technically an elf until she gets contacted by the elf community and whisked away to the elf world, and is learning about the elf world, and that she has these people that are hunting her down. There's evil, there's good, there's all the things. There's great friend groups, there's great parental figures, there is mischief, there's mayhem, all around a good time. This is a long series. I don't know exactly how many books there are in the series, but this was book 2. I finished it. Overall, gave it 4 stars. Enjoying my time. I did start Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. I do like this book. I don't know how I'm feeling as far as, the only Jennifer Hartman book I have read is Still Beating, which I loved that book. I gave it 5 stars. So this one is a little bit different from that, and because it's like these interconnected standalones, and I don't know how these connect. I can't remember. I feel like we got some kind of snippets in Still Beating to this book, but I can't remember what they were. But anyway, so basically this little boy was kidnapped, and he has been held in this basement for 22 years, where his captor kind of made him think that there's been like some kind of nuclear war on the outside world, and they can't go outside because they're gonna die, it's toxic, all of the things. So from the time that he is 8 till now he's 30, he has been brainwashed and in this kind of cellar thing. And as my AC turns on, as always, I'm just gonna continue to talk through. One day, for some reason, he is able to escape into the outside world, and that's when, he is brought back into his previous life, where he has a stepbrother, and his mother has since passed away, but he has a stepbrother, he has a stepfather, and he has this best friend named Sydney that he had when he was 8 and she was 7. And so it's all about him integrating back into this world after being out of it for 22 years. Now, mind you, he has had a lot of books, a lot of nonfiction books, so he is very kind of educated. He's learned how to read. He would watch like old-timey movies on the TV set. Like, he is not like in the mindset of like a 5-year-old. Okay, he's not that way. He is very smart, very intelligent, just because of everything that he has had exposure to from his captor in order to keep up with his kind of education. He is very socially awkward because he has not ever socialized before. He hasn't been around people. So he is very socially awkward and blunt, and some of the things he says are just straight to the point. But I'm enjoying my time. Obviously, this is a romance between his best friend from when he was 8 to now, that he is back into this world. And they are next door neighbors because these are the houses that they grew up in, and his stepbrother has kept this house, and Sydney has inherited this house from her parents. So they are neighbors, and she is going to help him kind of integrate back into this life. And I'm enjoying my time, about 40-ish%, 45-ish% maybe. Enjoying my time. I wouldn't say that like, oh, I'm so immersed, like it's a 5-star read, but I am enjoying Jennifer Hartman's writing style. I think it's wonderful. I can't wait to continue the book, and I'll pop back in probably when I get done. I do need to pick another audiobook. My problem is that I don't have any commute time between now and next week, so I don't know how many audiobooks I'm going to get to this particular week, which puts a damper on me because I have a ton of audiobooks that I need to get to this month. But it just may not happen as much as I want it to happen. But anyway, that's a different story. I will check back in when I finish Lotus. Let's go ahead and actually choose my next audiobook. I have 6 books to choose from. I have a wheel for this one too, and let me bring it up. Here it is. Here it is. If you can see that, perfect. We are going to just spin it. The Fractured Dark. Fantastic. So this is the next book in the Megan O'Keefe series, the Devour World series. It starts with The Blighted Stars. I'm not doing very well on my TBR jars because I don't think I've read a single book yet from those jars. I may be in trouble, but I'm going to do what the wheel says, and I am going to read The Fractured Dark, or listen to it via audiobook. Let's chat because I stayed up entirely too late finishing Lotus last night. I got no sleep. I just kept reading and reading and reading and reading and reading. Friends. At the 50% mark, this book took off and I couldn't put it down. 4 stars. 4 stars. I really loved where this book went. Jennifer Hartman, we all know that she's going to have some kind of twists and turns in her books, and while this wasn't the most shocking or the most exciting twist, I really enjoyed these two together. I enjoyed this wholesome little boy who is kind of naive to the world, just kind of finding love and finding what the idea of love is. And there's something unique about that and reading about that. I totally enjoy my time. I gave it 4 stars. That's fantastic. But it is time, I guess, to pick another book. So we will get the wheel out. Okay, we have the wheel. The wheel. And we are going to spin it. I do not know if you can see that. Kingston, I'm terrified. Okay, so this book I pulled out of my romance jars that I did in March. This is a reverse harem. That's all I know. I think it's an MMF? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how many men. I can't remember. It's a reverse harem. The only one that I have read is Pucking Around. I have read an MMF before, but Pucking Around is the first one I've read that have more than 3 people. I don't know. I'm getting my lingo mixed up. But anyway, this is a reverse harem. This is a dark. This has some triggers, they say. Check your triggers. I will check back in when I get some into this book. This should be an interesting read because I'm actually terrified. Pray for me. Okay, girlies, I am 30% into Kingston. And what am I reading? Okay. I think I had a right to be scared. So at the 30% mark, there's no like smexy times. There's no smutty times as of yet. This follows our main character. She's 18. She is basically hacked her way into being a part of this elite brotherhood at Hawthorne University. So the first chapter of the book, we see her arriving to this house. Her name is Elliot. So that seems like a male name, and she forged her dad's signature on a recommendation letter. She's done all these things to get into this prestigious brotherhood. And the thing is that they don't know that she's a female. So she shows up to the house, and of course they find out that she's a female. And there are 3 initiates each year, and they get assigned to 3 already brothers. And she, of course, gets assigned to these 3 seniors that are going to initiate her into this brotherhood. First of all, our male main character is 18. These males are seniors in college. They do not act like seniors in college. Secondly, this female, like, she knows that she's infiltrating this brotherhood, and she has this badass, like, in her head. She's like, before she goes in there, she's like, yes, I'm doing this. I know this. It's going to be fine. And she's acting all badass. And the premise is that she's trying to figure out what happened to someone named Will, who was an initiate in the brotherhood the year before. Apparently, he's gone missing. I don't know. But she's trying to figure out what happened to him. But she acts all like, oh, this is going to be good. I'm going to be badass. I'm going to figure out what this is. But immediately when she gets there and she realizes it's just kind of like what bullies and stuff, which honestly, if you're in this elite fraternity not secret society, but, you know, kind of thing, you should know that it's going to be bad. Okay? So immediately she goes into this house and they start demanding her to do things, and she's embarrassed. She can't do it. Oh my God. But you were just a badass and you knew what this would require. And now you're just this meek little embarrassed, I can't do this. I don't know. It's giving, I don't know. And the men in here are also giving me the ick. You have Kingston, which obviously the book's Kingston, who is like the baddest of the badasses. He hasn't got on my nerves just yet. You have Archer, who gets on my nerves because of something he's already done. And then you have Cannon, who doesn't speak. He doesn't speak. Which is fine, but he texts to speak. I don't know. Weird combination of characters. I don't know. I'm going to keep reading. I also, when I was reading reviews, I realized that this book takes place over a very short time span. Like, I'm 30% in the book, and we're only on day 2 of her being there, I believe. And then, so I looked, and it's like, this takes place over 14 days. We have extreme insta-lust, like, I don't know. And the fact that this book is a series. So this is Kingston, and then we have the other books for Cannon and Archer. And I'm like, why a series? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this book is just not for me, or if maybe there's other books like that. So I was reading one of the reviews, and it says that this is like the knockoff version of the Boys of Forsyth series. What is that? What is that series? The Royals of Forsyth University. And so I looked that series up, and that's by Angel Lawson, and she is one of my favorite authors. One of her hockey romance series is like, some of those books are some of my favorite books. And I knew she had a dark academia, like, university series, but now that you said that Kingston is like a knockoff version of this, it makes me want to read this instead of Kingston, but I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll read some more and then DNF. I don't know. I'm still congested. I did start The Fractured Dark. I'm only like 8% in, maybe 10%. Enjoying my time. At first, I was afraid that I wouldn't remember enough about The Blighted Stars, which I just read in January, but I've read a lot of books since then. But I do remember most of it. And so I did kind of read like a summary of the first book before I dived into this book. And I'm enjoying my time. We're getting a lot of character interactions, a lot of from our male main character and our female main character. I can't tell you much about it because I think it will vastly spoil book one. So I won't. But I am enjoying my time in that book as well. And I am headed to work now. Pop back in when I either decide to DNF Kingston or I get farther along. Okay, friends. So I DNF'd Kingston because this is just not a book for me. The writing style is not bad. The writing is not bad itself as far as like grammatically, whatever. But this is so dramatic that I DNF'd like shortly after I filmed my last clip. The FMC was insufferable. The MMCs were insufferable. I mean, the FMC continued to say, like, in her head, like, that she's, like, some kind of badass and she can do it and she's whatever. And then the next second, she's, like, flushing in embarrassment and just so... I can't. This was not... If you really like absurd drama things that are not likely to happen in real life, fine. I know we're in fiction. I know this is the kind of, like when you're reading these kinds of bully romances or whatever you're reading, I obviously understand that it's not meant to be super realistic, but also not like over the top ridiculousness either. That's not what I particularly like. And so now it's getting me very scared to read some of the things that are in this jar that I'm picking, because this is the second book that I have DNF'd out of the romance jar. And I don't know. Like, my goal is to try to figure out what I like in romance. That's what I want to do, but I don't just want to sit there and read like every popular book known to mankind, because I feel like I'm missing out on a lot if I do that. But I don't know. This one wasn't for me. I am not opposed to trying more romances or dark romances like this one. But this one, particularly the characters, I didn't jive with. I didn't jive with the book. And so I will not be continuing on with this book. So for now, what I'm going to do is I am going to concentrate on reading The Fractured Dark via audio, because it's a fairly long audio and I feel like I just want to kind of finish, as my dog barks, I want to finish this before I move on to something else. I am approximately... Let me close my door. My dog is barking. I'm approximately like 8% in to the book as my door opens. It's a ghost. And I'm enjoying my time with it. If you don't know what The Blighted Stars is about, I don't know if I mentioned what this was about or not, but basically we have this very powerful family that is in charge of kind of terraforming these planets, because Earth has died and all these other inhabitable planets are dying. And this powerful family just basically rules over everybody, and they are in charge of terraforming these planets to see if they are inhabitable. His son, who really is not really into politics, he's not into all of these things, he wants to go to school, he wants to be a scientist, I can't remember what kind of scientist, but he is just like a nerd. And he basically, something happens and he basically gets sent to this planet that they are planning to mine or see if it's inhabitable, with one of his enemies that he doesn't know is his enemy, because she's in a different body. Her mind is in a different body. It's so interesting. It is an enemies to lovers romance, but you get so much more than romance. Romance is like the side plot. The politics and the world take the forefront of the story. I'm enjoying my time this second book. I will have to check in maybe when I get halfway and tell you how I'm feeling about it, but hoping to finish this up within the next few days. We'll see what happens. I'll catch up later. Okay, so my house is a mess. Everything is a mess, but that's okay. I wanted to check in and kind of wind up this video. I finished The Fractured Dark, and I have to say that this series is making me want to go back and read the series that starts with Velocity Weapon. I read Velocity Weapon, gave it 4 stars, really enjoyed it, but then time passed and I tried to pick up the second book and couldn't remember what happened in Velocity Weapon, so it didn't really work, so I just decided to DNF that series. But now I'm really enjoying the series, I'm really enjoying my time, and now I'm wondering if I could go back and read Velocity Weapon, would I love it more and continue on it in a timely manner? Would I love the series too? And I think that I probably would. And so, I don't know, it may be something that I revisit. But The Fractured Dark, I think, was a step up. I don't think that it suffered from middle book syndrome at all. I highly enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to reading the series ending sometime soon. With that being said, it is March the 7th. I have finished 4 books this week. I have felt accomplished, and yay, go me. And I am going to catch you guys in the next one.